okay, yeah. The third step in design process is gathering the information. Yeah. So we covered recognizing the need, and then the next step of problem definition, wherein you define the problem, or you also define the problem or the product specification in a clear and concise way, in a simple way. Yeah. And third thing is the information gathering, right? So here the information can be from various sources. Yeah, the information, of course, a customer is a rich source of information for your project. Okay, you get on into a requirement specification discussion with the customer, or a requirements discussion with the customer. Yeah, and you kind of get all the data from the customer information, and there could be some requirement data sheet what you would have it in your team. Yeah, say for example, for a particular product or a particular project, you could have a standard requirement data sheet template. You can make use of this and try to get all the information. Maybe first time, for a first time project, this may be a bit challenging, but if you are doing the project on a repetitive basis, or if it's a delta project, right, the requirements are going to be same, only the specifications are going to change, right? So on that context, you can create a requirement data sheet. You could also get the inputs or certain information for your project from your scientific journals. Yeah, say there are a lot of scientific journals or a lot of research published in the journals which could use the certain research methodology. So you can also try to use the information from the scientific journals. Yeah, of course, there is one more thing is codes and standards. Yeah, which is not mentioned here. It's codes and standards. So you'll also get information from the codes and standards. Okay, from the national or international bodies. Okay, and organizational standards and procedures. Say for example, your organization would have some particular a way of doing a project. So of course they may have their own standards and procedures to execute the project. So you also try to understand what is it. Handbooks. Of course, handbooks can also be your design handbooks, or it could also be passively linked to the codes and standards. It could be various design handbooks which you have to also refer for designing. Okay. Patents, your organizational patents, yeah, would be also a rich source of information to you, or uh, other competitive patents, yeah, would also give a insight into what you should not do in design, right? The other important aspect is lessons learned. Yeah, it's always very important that at the end of all the project, or at the end of any product design, you also write down the key lessons learned, because there would be always certain amount of mistakes, yeah, or iterations which we get into. Yeah, and we can always try to we should always try to write down this, because for the subsequent projects, we don't need to go through the same cycle, and by this way we can reduce a lot of mistakes. Yeah, so gathering information is very critical for the project, because you are going to gather this data from various types of sources. So you should basically know what are the sources you are going to get the inputs from. Okay, so this is the third step in the design process.